In the darkness, spirit hands were felt to flutter, and when prayer by tantras had been directed to the proper quarter, a faint but increasing luminosity of ruby light became gradually visible. The apparition of the Etheric Double being particularly lifelike, owing to the discharge of jivic rays from the crown of the head and face. Communication was effected through the pituitary body and also by means of the orange, fiery and scarlet rays emanating from the sacral region and solar plexus. Questioned by his earth name as to his whereabouts in the heaven world, he stated that he was now on the path of pralaya or return, but was still submitted to trial at the hands of certain bloodthirsty entities on the lower astral levels. In reply to a question as to his first sensations in the Great Divide beyond, he stated that previously he had seen as in a glass darkly, but that those who had passed over had summit possibilities of atomic development opened up to them. Interrogated as to whether life there resembled our experience in the flesh, he stated that he had heard from more favoured beings now in the spirit that their abodes were equipped with every modern home comfort, such as Telefana, Alavatar, Hatakalda, Wataklaza, and that the highest adepts were steeped in waves of volupcy of the very purest nature. Having requested a quart of buttermilk, this was brought and evidently afforded relief. Asked if he had any message for the living, he exhorted all who were still at the wrong side of Maya to acknowledge the true path, for it was reported in divanic circles that Mars and Jupiter were out for mischief on the eastern angle where the ram has power. It was then queried whether there were any special desires on the part of the defunct, and the reply was, "We greet you, friends of Earth, who are still in the body. Mind CK doesn't pile it on." It was ascertained that the reference was to Mr. Cornelius Kelly, manager of Messrs. H.J. O'Neill's popular funeral establishment, a personal friend of the defunct, who had been responsible for carrying out the interment arrangements. Before departing, he requested that it should be told to his dear son Patsy that the other boot, which he had been looking for, was at present under the commode in the return room, and that the pair should be sent to Cullen's to be sold, only as the heels were still good. He stated that this had greatly perturbed his peace of mind in the other region, and earnestly requested that his desire should be made known. Assurances were given that the matter would be attended to, and it was intimated that this had given satisfaction. He is gone from mortal haunts, O Dignam, son of our morning. Fleet was his foot on the bracken, Patrick of the beanie brow. Wail, Banba, with your wind, and wail, O ocean, with your whirlwind. There he is again, says the citizen, staring out. Oh, says I. Bloom, says he. He's on point duty up and down there for the last 10 minutes. And begob I saw his physog do a peep in and then slide her off. Little Alf was not Galway's fate he was. Good Christ, says he. I could have sworn it was him. And says Bob Dorn, with the hat on the back of his pole, lowest blackguard in Dublin when he's under the influence. Who said Christ is good? I beg your parsnips, says Alf. Is that a good Christ, says Bob Dorn, to take away poor little Willie Dignam? Oh well, says Alf, trying to pass it off. He's over all his troubles, but Bob Dorn shouts out, he's a bloody ruffian, I say, to take away poor little Willie Dignam. Terry came down and tipped him the wink to keep quiet. He didn't want that kind of talk in respect of a licensed premises. And Bob Dorn starts doing the weeps about Paddy Dignam. True as you're there. The finest man, says he, snivelling. The finest, purest character. The tear is bloody near your eye, talking through his bloody hat. Fitter for him to go home to the little sleepwalking bitch he married, Moody, the bum bailiff's daughter. Mother kept in a kip in Hardwick Street that used to be stravaging about the landings. Phantom Lines told me that was stopping there at 2 in the morning without a stitch on her, exposing her person, opened all corners, fair field and no favour. The noblest, the truest, says he, and he's gone. Poor little Willie, poor little Paddy Dignam. And mournful and with heavy heart he bewept the extinction of that beam of heaven. Old Gary Owen started growling again at Bloom and was skeezing round the door. Come in, come on, he won't eat you, says the citizen. So Bloom slopes in with his cod's eye on the dog, and he asks Terry, was Martin Callaghan there? Oh, Christ McKeown, says Joe, reading one of the letters. Listen to this, will you? And he starts reading one out. 7 Hunter Street, Liverpool, the High Sheriff of Dublin. Honoured Sir, I beg to offer my services in the above-mentioned painful case. I hanged Joe Gann in Bootle Jail on the 12th of February 1900. And I hanged, show us, Joe, says I, Private Arthur Chase for foul murder of Jesse Tilsett in Pentonville And I was assistant when, Jesus, says I, Billington executed the awful murderer Toad Smith. The citizen made a grab at blethering. Hold hard, says Joe. I have a special knack of putting the noose. Once in, he can't get out. Hoping to be honoured, I remain honoured, sir. My term is 5 guineas. H. Rumble, Master Barber. And a barbarous bloody barber he is too, says the citizen. And the dirty scroll of the wretch, says Joe. Here, says he, take them the hell out of my sight, Al. No, Bloom, says he. What will you have? So they started arguing about the point. Bloom saying he would, then he couldn't. And excuse him, no offence and all that. And he said, well, he'd just take a cigar. God, he's a prudent member and no mistake. Give us one of your prime stinkers, Terry, says Joe.